I'm Andy Rowe, and I'm a singer in the Oggymen. The Oggymen story, the Skinners, probably starts pre-Oggymen. You know, in your sort of, if you define areas of your life with music, I suppose my early 20s were defined by drinking pints of Cornish knocker in the chain locker in Falmouth when Johnny Pearce was the landlord there. And that was where we sort of, me and Foy and John and Rob, and we sort of hatched the idea of maybe starting a singing group. And eventually we got the rest of the guys to sort of come on board. And we were practicing a little bit. And then Fred said, boys, we're at the Oyster Festival. Any chance you could come up and give us a song? And that was our first time on stage. You know, and we had a pint of Skinners in our hand then. And since, you know, our sort of story has never been very far apart. You know, you've always, every sort of show that we've done since, there's been some form of support from Skinner's Brewery. You know, long may that continue. Skinner's have supported us in numerous ways. I mean, obvious one is that they lubricate most of our gigs with free beer, and we're very grateful for that, of course. But you know, there's lots of other things that wouldn't have happened, or certainly wouldn't have been as good without Skinner's investment and support, like the Shanty Festival. You know, things years back like Lou Music Festival, Porthleven Food Festival. You know, there's a list as long as your arm of events that either wouldn't be with us anymore, or you know, certainly wouldn't be as good as they are without those early days when Skinners are always happy to put their hand up and say, "We'll give you a hand with that." You know, and that is one of the real strings to your bow. I think that's why this crowdfunding has gone so well as it has, is because you're always prepared to put something in, and now you're reaping the rewards of that, or I hope you are. I'm sure that if I asked the guys that I work with on site who, you know, aren't big ale drinkers, they would still know that they're that big red banner in Truro, and that red banner means community. It means, you know, and it goes like every festival, small or large. You know, there's always a Skinner's tent there. They're always there, and they're always supporting something that, you know, the cultural or, you know, or sporting. They're always there. I must say, for me, my favourite moment with Skinner's was when we sang up at Kerno in the City in London, and most of us got a minibus up there, and Steve, with a handful of others, flew up, and we were sort of 12 Cornish idiots let loose in London, didn't have a clue what we were doing. And Steve, who'd lived there for a while, sort of took us out and showed us the bright lights of London. And it was the details of which will remain a secret. But it was one of the funniest nights of my life. And that is, you know, I think Steve's approach to life in general is sort of represented in how the brewery runs as well. You know, it's a bit of fun. You know, there's no point being a brewery, you know, if you're going to take yourself too seriously, because actually drinking's bloody good fun. And Steve's a great man to the amount, you know. Again, up at the brewery where we've had nights and Steve's holding court and telling jokes, and it's a very sort of a family affair up there, which we've bought right into.
My young man's a Cornish man.
Cornwall without Skinners, I think, would be a little bit like life without herbs. In the way that, you know, buses would still run on time and the tide would still come in and out, but there'd just be something missing, wouldn't there? There'd be something missing. So Cornwall needs to keep hold of Skinners, and Skinners needs to keep hold of Cornwall, I think. Cornwall should be supporting this crowdfunder campaign, because the brewery, Stu, Steve, Elaine, everyone that's been involved in that business over the years has always given so much. And it's really important that now, when Skinner's needs a bit of a hand when it's fallen, that Cornwall comes and, you know, takes up that and helps out. And I really think that all should take a bit of responsibility and help out our mates, Skinner's Brewery. Please visit the Skinner's crowdfunding page and give what you can. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get to the next target, and we'll see you at the bar sometime in the summer.